Hello again, people. Welcome once more to the fair city of Farmland Flats. Modded City Skylines 1 build with partially a Yorkshire feel. The main city centre is very loosely based on Barnsley, where I reside. Other areas are based on places I've lived and just some sort of generic made-up bits. So, what do we got? Well, we have some problem. I mean, obviously we have a few traffic related issues. That needs some resolution, which I do intend to look at shortly. First thing I'm going to do, however, is look at this colliery. Now, hit pause. Step 1. This bit didn't really work. The original idea for here was I was going to have a little industrial bit which would look vaguely appropriate. Yeah, it just doesn't work. The buildings that came in are horrible. So what I'm going to do is dezone all of that. I'm going to delete all these buildings, and we're not going to have this little industrial area here anymore. What I'm going to do is expand the colliery itself. So there's a lot of these assets that look remarkably similar and aren't particularly good. I'm going to delete that zone in its entirety as not necessary anymore. And we have a little bit at the back of the other bit. We've got an industrial park next to it, so don't need that. What we're going to do instead is look at the colliery itself, and you see we're importing goods, which I don't want to do. Stupid amounts of resources produced, but not enough workers. So what we need to do is bring in some more jobs and up production a little bit. What I'm going to do is put in another pit head. So if I go into here, here, and here, this gives me all these wonderful, wonderful buildings and lots of bulk ore storage. That one there is another working pit head, which I'm going to put in there, because they look quite nice. Functioning mine building works as a large underground ore mine. Place it on top of other bits and pieces. So this is basically another mine that doesn't look like a mine, if that makes sense. We have the main building we've already put down. What does this one do? Washing plant. This is another ore to metal bit, which I'm going to put around here. And what else have we got? Concrete silo working as ore storage. There's various nice little loading type buildings. We do also have, I believe, if I do that. See, there are some other bits and pieces. I mean, these just make the place look a bit nicer. That's not quite what I'm after. What have we got? Winding engine house, which again is just some nice little buildings. They've done them as parks, which is good because it means you can sort of drop them down wherever you like. Small sheds, conveyor buildings. We should look at some of this for a bit of detailing. What I'm actually after, well, like the lamp house. I'm going to do a lamp house. I'm going to put it there. Set this up to put out these ore trucks only, because I quite like the look of those. Hit run and see what that does to our employee count. See, we need 100, which isn't going to be enough. We're going to still need more. Let's come in here with... As always, have to turn that off. Yes, put a pathway in there. That's going to destroy that. Oh, well, never mind. I can put the lamp house back later. So yeah, then we have another mine building. So do we have more workers? We're slowly gaining a few. Not enough, but we are slowly gaining a few. So what have we got in here that is going to add workers? See, down here we've got this bit. This glass manufacturing plant with a warehouse to take glass. I think that's the sort of thing we could do with a little bit more of. It's quite large, so there isn't going to be space to put it there. Could have just put another one next to the first one, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Glass is fairly good. Metal is also fairly good, but we've got a chunk of this, and we come in here, or this basically one thing. On this one here, glass manufacturing plant. We're going to put. Oh, it goes that way, does it? Okay. No, that's fair enough. I'll just put another road in. There we go. I can put it off that. Not in industry area. It's fairly easy to rectify. That one. Smaller, and I'll make the industry area a little bit bigger. There we go. And yeah, some of these buildings you have to put within the industry area, some of them you don't. That's got water, but I'm going to give it a little bit more. They'll share a warehouse, and that'll look alright. This again will assist in getting the number of workers up. How many people do these things employ? See, the big ore storage facilities are good, but don't employ very many people. The mines employ a few. These employ quite a few, so that should help as that starts to pick up people. And so yeah, there is other big buildings here. I mean, we can put like the steel works and all that sort of thing in. That's going to produce metals. So what we could probably do with is a storage facility for metal somewhere around here. So have a warehouse. They're huge. They're nice, but they're huge. That's even bigger. That's also huge. I'm going to go with one of these. I'm going to put a little one of these down. Put it there. Stored resource metals. Now the purpose of adding these is essentially... let's just change the vehicles as well, because I do have some girder truck. Yeah, that'll do. It's not perfect, but it'll do. The purpose of adding these is so that we store stuff locally. It will import things to start with, but it means the trucks from the factories don't have to go very far. It's the trucks from the warehouse that will do the end step delivery. And traffic is getting horrible again. That's commercial building, that won't help. Industry, how are we doing? Still need more. Okay, what I'm going to do is put another one of these screening plants in. I'm going to leave some space in here. I want to put in some of the more decorative bits and pieces we've got, which I do quite like the look of. Let's put another one of those in down there. That'll do. I sort of like fill a lot of this area with some of the other buildings that don't really do anything but do actually look quite nice. Right, we shall come back to that in a bit. The next step is fast forward to the morning, basically so I can see what I'm doing. So I will catch you in the morning. And here we are back with a bit of daylight. Now, the traffic has eased off a lot, basically because it's the following morning. It's about time this colliery got a freight link, a proper freight rail link. So there's a few things I want to do in this episode. One is give that a freight rail link, ideally without completely overloading the roads surrounding it. The problem is a lot of this stuff will start trying to feed into here to get to it, so I need to think about that. And the other is going to be another housing area down here because we have a significant demand. I'm thinking this is going to be green cities, because I've not done any of that in this build. Sort of a newfangled estate like that. And this area here may eventually end up as a nature reserve. Yeah, take advantage of certain areas, and possibly over to the other side as well, a few little bridges and what have you. I think that'll look quite nice, and I think that'll work quite well. First thing to do, however, is the rail. So what I'm going to do, now I've got rail, I can do this. So let's come into here. I want a train. I want track if I can do it. I have to build a station before I can build the track. Okay, well that's... If I have to do that, I have to do that. It's going to be a freight terminal. So I'm going to need a road. I'll work out where it's going to go. It's going to go over here. So we need a road for it to sit alongside. The trains are going to come in and out one end. They're going to sort of like go onto there and go over and then loop around. Probably in this bit over here, so I can bring a track in. So I've got space to do something with it over there. So let's have a little look at a road for this to live on. Now it's got to be a reasonable size, so I'm going to do that. Should now be able to put the station in. Obviously I've got to connect it all up, but I want a freight terminal. About there. Now lorries are going to come in this side and come out this side, because this is going to get one-way stuff put around it. In fact, can I actually... I think I have somewhere... get this thing to work. I can unlock those two segments, which has the advantage I can turn them into a one-way street with no parking. Unlock, that's not what I wanted. Right, turn that off. Appears to have locked those again. Unlock that. Unlock that. That. Right. There we are, one-way streets. With no parking, which is the key bit, because I don't want it to clog up. Right, now traffic coming into this is going to come... we are going to build a little bit of a curved road here, because traffic will flow more smoothly if I do. The way out is actually going to go that way. Why not? Why not do it over there? So that's there. 2, 3, 4, back to there. That one obviously needs turning round. And then it's not perfectly aligned, but it doesn't matter. So that's that. Traffic here is still two-way. This bit here is going to be one-way. We're going to go in. See, we're probably going to end up generating quite a bit of traffic coming in and out through this gate now around this road here. That's as such. That there is going to become a roundabout. And we're going to that 2-lane road. Doesn't need to be that big. Really. That'll do. And yes, that's made a little bit of a mess of some of the surrounding roads, but I can deal with that fairly easily. So we're going to here, we're going to slopey between there and there. And for whatever reason it's decided not to do exactly what I wanted it to, but never mind. Right, that can lift up a bit. There we go, that's that. And we'll make that one. Oh, I see, it's treating all of that as a node, is it? Oh, that's why. I'll do that as a slope. There we go. It's a coal mine. Roads liable to subsidence. There we go. Done. This is then going to come over here. Using this. Over here, sort of like that. And then like that. This is obviously going to want water, power, and all the other all the other good stuff that you need with this sort of thing. So I'll do that. Electrical power, it's got, that's jumped in. Right. So that's going to be the colliery. It's a pity it's not a... This is a colliery type looking one, but there we go, never mind. That building, however, is going to get raised up a bit. Basically because I want the rails coming into it to be about the right level. And that's also made the road look a little bit daft. So we will go that one, that one, that one, to object height, that. There we go. So the loading roads now look about right, and then what I'm going to do is that slopey, 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 slopey. That one, slopey, slopey, from there to there, like that. And then obviously this area here is going to need some terraforming doing to it, but I can cope with that in a bit. The other thing I need to do now is go into trains, because there's something else here that it doesn't look right, and that's this bit, which I'm going to be upgrading these bridge sections here to be embankments. We don't do massive long bridges so much in the UK. We do tend to go with embankments, so that just looks a bit better. Admittedly, it does make the post office look a little bit odd. Might have to do something about that. Right, there we go. So that can all be smoothed up later. So now I need to bring the railway line into here. So wrong one. Would help if I pick the correct thing. So that is going to come out. That is going to come out here. What I need is a link that comes off here and curves around. Yeah, that'll do. No, that won't do, and there's a reason that won't do. You need space to run multiple trains, so what I'm going to do is that. That can then link into there, and I will again force that to be at ground level, because that looks a lot better. We're going to, wrong button, we're going to come along here, and I'm going to do something fairly similar at this level here. Home. That, which is then going to spur in there as well, like that. And this basically gives me the entrance ways to the facility. So that can then go that, and this can then come that, and that junction there looks horrible, but I don't care. So what I'm going to do with this here now is go into this. I just want nodes. I'll set all of that lot to terrain height. Okay. Just decided it's not going to do. Okay, I'll have to do these manually. Come on to the side here. Lower that a bit. Yeah. And then we're in with the terraforming just to sort the land out a little bit. Smoothify is probably the best one. A little bit of that round there. Should work out fairly well anyway. Right. And now try again to sort out the levelling on that bit, because that just looks a bit off. Okay, right. Simple solution, get rid of that and rebuild it. This is probably a node thing at this point, so node controller, yeah, that bit there. There we are, that's sorted that out nicely. Just squaring that node off and sorted that. Right, so we now have the colliery has a rail connection and some bits of land around it that look absolutely horrendous, which I shall now also deal with. That one probably. Do some of this around here. Smooth all of this out. It just makes all of this at the end here look a little bit better. A little bit bigger. Yeah, we'll come around here and we'll do the same with this bit as well, and then I don't mind it being a little bit hilly. I mean, it is a mining area after all. Okay, so see what happens with that. It'll take a little while to notice that it's there, but traffic should then start coming round here and using the freight terminal, and this obviously should allow some of the traffic that's inbound and outbound to go elsewhere. This roundabout needs... Don't like those roads. That will look better. That looks a lot better. So we'll do that, and then we will go into here and tell this is a roundabout, you know. Shift click. It's done the giveaways and what have you on the through lanes. That'll do. And we'll see how that copes. Hopefully it works. So it's operating normally. Sometimes you find that the tracks, it says, oh, the curves are too sharp, things won't come in and out, but we'll keep an eye on that. Right, next up. This little area here for a bit of a green cities type housing estate. So and then might as well include that little bit there. Why not? Include some of this area around here. And I'm not going to go down to the river. I could go down to the river with it, but I'm not going to. So here, Bosworth. Bosworth, the environmentally friendly housing facility. So all of that I want self-sufficient. And let's have a little look in the style bit. What have we got? Just generic styles there. That'll do. Yeah, that'll give us the green cities bit with the self-sufficient buildings. So I have to think about how big these buildings are going to be. I'm umming and ahhing a little bit. I sort of want them to be not huge. I think the sort of 3x4s would probably do. So we are going to be talking. Nothing's going to be on there. We're going to have some things come off. So what I'm going to do is put a junction in and yeah, do it like that. That'll do to start with. And we come all the way down here like that. This road can come in. This road here can come in further, and we'll build off this. So, said before, don't like crossroads. We do have them in the UK. It's not that I'm sort of got a crossroadophobic or something like that, but while we do have them, we don't have quite so many. I want to prioritise newer roads on this because I want that area there zonable. Probably won't zone on this side of it. And then we're going to go... Probably is going to be like that. That's going to be a bit longer because otherwise that won't connect properly. We're going to need schools and other bits and pieces in here, so I'm actually going to... I'm going to do that. I'm not going to put another connection onto the main road. That's going to come along to... That's going to go like that. As I say, I need to keep it staggered a little bit. Almost a little bit of a brick pattern, which is a sort of interesting way of looking at it. We'll do that to there, that to there, and then I'll do that like so, and then I need... Oh, this little bit in here. What are we going to do with this little bit? I need something here. This is all going to have schools and other bits and pieces added, and I might streamline a road along the back there. Don't know. I might leave that bit for park areas. See, if this is going to be a nature reserve, at some point there's going to need to be an access road to it, which will probably end up coming off from around here somewhere. So yeah, I probably do need that road in, but do that in a minute. On here, and yes, these roads are really a little bit close together, but again, I can cope. Right, and I'll make that one a little bit longer as well. That's a street pattern. I want to put a few pathways in, because if I put those in before I zone things, it makes life a little bit easier. There's not a huge amount of point in having that path, because pedestrians can't walk up and down that road, so that is probably going to get changed. So I'm going to end up changing what road that is. So let's have a little look. What else have we got? I want a 2-lane road with median. That'll do, because that... looking a little bit odd with pathways like that. That's just the road replacement thing that's doing a little bit of that. That can come down here and there, and then I will go back to a normal road along there now. So now people can walk. People can walk along that now, which they couldn't previously. Yeah, but it means this area here is now accessible by foot as well. Water is a fairly obvious one. Come all the way down there. Down there. On there, and... the redundant connections aren't strictly speaking needed, but mean when I screw up and delete something later by mistake, people have still got water to drink. So yeah. So that's that. Let's drop a little bit of infrastructure in here. I want village school doesn't sit right. I'm going to go with the default school. So I'm just going to give this little area its own school, which is going to be near the main road. I can drop another pathway in there. I'm going to put the obligatory playground next to it. Well, I say obligatory. Yeah, the obligatory playground next to it. So we've got that, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of parking. Right. Going to go in with some other parks around here. Like I say, the back of this is going to be a big park, so I don't really feel the need to put a huge amount around there. Dog parks are always fun. Put a dog park there with another footpath Make getting to it a little bit easier. That can have a path. That can have a path. Okay, right, housing. I am going to put some commercial and stuff in here as well, but we're going to start off with some housing. And I'm going to go with 4x3s, I think. I am going to put one there. Yeah, 4x3s with a little bit of space between them, which I think will work out quite nicely. Hopefully the power will connect from that end and we can bring that in, but until it does, go do that. It should help with the power. I've gone with the road with a median here because I want to keep it at a reasonable speed, because it is a sort of a through road. And here we now have some people growing in. Good. It's going to be some more housing demand, so I'm going to continue in this area here, like so. Because land value interests me, I'm also going to put in a healthcare centre. This little bit here will be the sort of centre all round here. They may end up with a bus route coming through here, which probably will run round this road here, so it serves as much of this as possible. Back to housing. Do that like that. And we have the capability down here as well, so right, let's do that differently. Again, what I'm trying to do is avoid putting housing along little side roads like that if I can avoid it. Put more there without the spacing. It just means the houses will zone in on the roads I want them to zone in on, rather than necessarily the ones they might wish to zone in on. So yeah, I can do that there. Do that one as well. That'll work. And this is going to help deal with some of the housing demand I've got. Right. Now we've got this in. Let's put a bus in, and it's going to be a bus that runs to the bus station from out here all the way back round. So hit pause, because that way I can control where the buses spawn from. We're going to create a line. We're going to come out. We're going to come round here. We're not going to stop everywhere. We are going to have a few stops. We're not going to stop everywhere though. We'll stop there. Excuse me. We will stop. We will call in to the high school, because that seems to be a sensible thing to do. And we're going to come around here. We're not stopping in Tingewick. We are going to stop at Royston Cross, however. We are then going to come through Muxton, through that high school, so people can use that one as well. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to stop there. I don't think I need more than one stop in that area, so we're going to come back. We're basically going to reverse that route. Oh, this is just going to give people the ability to get around a little bit. I'll say I'm not trying to stop absolutely everywhere. We'll stop by the university because I think that makes sense. Select types. This is going to be the that lovely little Railways of Japan bus, because I really do quite like that. Colour. Oh, go with a green. Why not? Bus line 10, and this is going to be. I've forgotten what the place is called already. Where are we? Over here. No, still further over here. So this is going to be town centre to Bosworth. I've got no idea how many vehicles it's going to put on that. I don't want it to be a stupid number. We shall see when we hit start. How many is that going to put in? 26. Yes, we're not having anything like 26 buses on that route. 10. 10 will probably... I mean, 10 will probably be 8. Yeah, that seems more sensible. And that's just sort of connects our new little area over here. This will... And the editor's decision is final on this one. This will boost the land value over here a little bit, which is already not bad. It's going to get better because I'm going to put another park in. One of those will fit there, and that sort of becomes the just the centre of this little area here. I can put something else around there, I think. Not that one. I want a police station. Don't want a huge one though. Yeah. One of those. Yeah, we'll put one of them in. That gives a police station. And we can come in here with another couple of footpaths. Not that they're all needed, but we'll put some in. That can go over there as well. And through there, why not? Just a little bit more space for people to walk through. There's already a path over there, so I don't really need another one there. But that's done something for our housing demand. So let's have a look and see what we've got spawning in. See, these are nice style houses. They have to work really well if you put gravel roads down, but normal roads sort of boost value a little bit. So yes, that's looking reasonable. Zone a bit more of that in. It'll continue to grow. Bosworth, yeah, that'll do. I am going to put in some commercial. I think commercial is going to get its own little area, however. So what we're going to do is make a gap. This bit here is going to be the commercial area, I think. I'm going to take it all the way over to there as well, like so. That can get its own little... right button. That can get its own little area. And that gets... where are we? Organic and local produce. See that? Again, it just changes the buildings that'll spawn in this area here. And some of these are also actually really rather quite nice. So we shall do that to start with. They won't spawn in immediately. It doesn't really matter. I am going to give it a little bit more car parking, I feel. Another car park there. And then we can have another footpath there. And we can put one there. Link it in like that. Yeah, no, it's just lots and lots of spaces where people can go and walk. And continue with this pattern over here. Now some bigger houses on the end because of the space. And around here could do with some parks and other bits and pieces adding as well, because it all helps. It's just one of those things. This just comes across as the sort of place where people who play tennis live. So yeah. And again, give that a car park, and then the space I can put some little other sort of buildings around there as well. More buildings in like that. And I'm the area where the trees are. I'm pretty much going to leave. Now, as I said, I want to put in a nature reserve, so I'm going to go here with prioritise older roads. This is just so I don't mess up anything I've just done. And we're going to go like that, and then again, not perfect, but it'll do. This is where I can put the nature reserve section in. We are losing a small fortune currently. Not entirely sure why, but we are. The rail station is now working. This is good. Whether that's done anything particularly for the traffic in the area? Yeah. It's made it worse. See, the problem is I've now got the industrial stuff from over here is making a beeline for the freight station. Because there isn't really any other alternative. We could put in a passenger station around here somewhere, so Royston Cross has got one. The town centre sort of needs a junction that spurs off, comes up here, runs around the back of everything. Oops, excuse me, and then can pull in there. That's going to be quite expensive, so that's going to have to wait. Short term, I could put a station around here somewhere and tie it in. Yeah, I'm not going to, but there we go. So, yes, Bosworth. We now have Bosworth here with a grand total of 73 people living in it, because it's not the highest density types of housing, shall we say. But it looks alright. So, I'm now going to use what little skills I have when it comes to detailing and brighten this place up a little bit. So I will be back momentarily. Okay, so that's Bosworth. I'll probably come back in and add a bit more detailing over time, but that's just a little way to start out. I've got to say, I'm not 100% convinced by how many phone boxes these roads generate, but never mind. So we've got plenty of people wandering about. We've got the bus stops here. They're getting used. I mean, there's no shelters there, but they are getting used. I mean, how many's on that bus? Let me just hit pause so that stops moving so I can see what I'm doing. 4. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's people. Bosworth is there. What have we got in land value for Bosworth? So it's reasonable. people like this sort of thing. We haven't actually got anybody living down next to the river, which is probably a bit of a mistake in some respects, but never mind. Right, park area, because this is what we're going to have next. Is I'm going to put in the nature reserve, which is going to be along the back of the school, up into that little bit there, all round here, including that there, because that's where the entrance area is going to be. I'm going to bring it over here as well. Why not? All round the back of the farm. So the local authorities have decided that will be a nature reserve. This should attract people to the point it'll probably end up getting its own zoo. We don't want zoo, nature reserve. It'll probably end up getting its own thing. Nature reserve main gate, small main gate, not the proper main gate for this. So that is going to go there. Which unlocks all sorts of wonderful things for us. Path with decorations or just a path. So see, this is where you can get a little bit creative with these things. So let's just run. We're going to run a path to over there. Obviously it wants water, but that's fine. We can do that. We're going to come out here and we're going to go around here. These rocks look quite interesting, so let's go. A little pathway around there. We are going to go over there and probably like that as well. These may as well link up a bit. I don't often do nature reserves. They take up quite a lot of space, I think, if you do them properly. And they can be a little bit dull. Just, I don't know if by dull, there's not a great deal in them. So you really do have to make of them what you will, so to speak. So here, what I'm going to do is I am going to give this some parking. Just there, that'll do. Doesn't need vast amounts of it. And we're going to go to nature reserve fence, which is going to go around the back of that. Down to the road, and we can do a lovely little curved fence. You don't need to fence these places in. I'm perfectly honest, there's very little need to do this. However, it does look quite good. So fence that, and I'm going to fence along here. The one thing the fencing does do is it takes the zoning off the roads, which if you're not planning on zoning anything there, is a nice little reminder. Don't zone anything there. And we're going to run that. Do a nice little curve down to the water's edge down there, like that. So there's our nature reserve. Now, as with the other parks, this has to gain some entertainment, and at the moment it's got a little bit. Weirdly, it doesn't need much more to get people to come in. To start with, so we have, I don't want the side gates, so all we have to start with, we don't have info booths or anything like that. There's lots of props which are quite nice, so we'll play with some of those. We need a little campsite, so what I'm going to do is put in a couple of other types of tent. People can then loiter within tent. Whee! I do apologise. So that doesn't quite have the entertainment it needs just yet from just that campsite stuff. So what else have we got we can put in? Wrong one. Let's get the wrong one. Campfire site. Let's pull that there. And what else have we got in terms of... We've got some logs and stuff people can sit on. We're going to put a notice board there. We can have another one there along with a bit more. Just a little bit of bench seating. And then I think, well, if... I'm going to put in a couple of little refreshment bits, and then what have we got in terms of bins? Put a couple of bins around the back. That's all we need. Don't need many. Like that. And that will start. I mean, it's a huge land area. There's hardly anything there. What I'm going to do is put another couple of... I'm going to put another little bit of a campsite over here, I think. Why not? Just because I can, really. Drop one of those and... add a couple of tents, some of which are complaining they need a pathway near them. So we shall... add this on the ground. Add another pathway, and that's obviously get that tent and rebuild it. There we go. We have the technology. Another little campsite. Nothing amazing, but we get viewing platforms and other bits as this levels up. Brampton Forest. It was that or putting a logging yard in. I just decided I wanted something that looked a bit different to a logging yard. So we now have commercial demand. So this we should start to see, and we are starting to see, commercial coming up over here. Now, one thing I haven't touched yet, we go into here, we have hotels. So this is the problem, is that you've got to have roads to put the little hotel bits on, which I was sort of vaguely hoping around there might work, but apparently not. Is it frustrating you can't put them off paths, they have to be on roads. Other hotels. Oh, there's a few spaces where we could drop a couple of hotels in here. There's a sort of drop a cheapy hotel near the business area over here. This is like the hostel accommodation type hotels. It's another mechanic in game. You start a hotel chain, and then eventually it levels up, and you can build bigger things. It gives you just more things you can place, really, just more ways of decorating things. They are quite expensive, so I'm not going to. Get rid of the advisor help. So, the farm's on fire. Oh dear. How are we doing over here? Motherwell Colliery yields 550 to get it up to level 4. That's quite a bit, so I'll probably leave off that for now. But again, we have goods trains running in and out, which is good. The traffic situation around there isn't totally chaotic. 81% because I suspect we've got people from over here trying to get around to that still. Yeah. How's that bus route doing? Have a quick look. town centre to Bosworth. You see, that's carrying a fair few people. Not as many as it could be, but it's carrying a fair few. We've got more around there. Let's just have a little look at what this other town centre route is. Which is, I think, that one and that one. Yeah, the town centre Bosworth is... That's basically a good one. But that one there is also... See, that these aren't doing too brilliantly as yet, but it's all growing. But anyone on a bus is somebody who isn't on a car. So there we go. So yeah, Bosworth, Newton, it's crossing round here. So this road will eventually come over here and we'll put something else down here. I've not decided what yet. Okay. Housing growing up. It's looking good. I mean, I'm not going mental with putting in huge numbers of pathways and all this sort of stuff, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, in theory you could put a bit more fencing around there, but I don't think it needs it. Right, these are nice, these sort of little buildings here. I'm going to put in now this has grown, I'm going to do the rest of that, and that will give Bosworth its own little sort of shopping area. And these are all just the generic shops from the Green Cities, which I think looks good. I mean, the whole area looks quite nice. So these households are levelling up quite nicely, which should be doing good stuff for the land value, which is okay. This park, as it levels up, will help the land value near it. It will also become a little bit of a destination. At the moment, you sort of get to it. Press the wrong button there. You sort of get to it by the bus through the centre, or by driving over here. We shall see. And we still have massive housing demand. And the only other place I can... Ooh, that's looking bad. Yes, I think we may have to have a bit of a traffic fix episode next time. The next milestone is 1600. That's... You see, this is the thing here. I sort of think I want to unlock that square. I also want to unlock this one. So... yeah, we might have to have a look. It may well end up being this one. I'll rip this junction out and replace it with something that's a bit more sensible. This will just be a dual carriageway running up here, which will probably feed into here somewhere. Possibly come round. I mean, that would require unlocking another square, but I can bring it sort of like squiggle it round here for a little bit to start with. Yes. So, have a little bit of an overview to finish with. Let's have a little look. What have we got? So, yeah, I mean, these areas they're maturing quite nicely. The various houses, you see, as things level up, they stop all looking exactly the same. He said as we look at a lot of houses that all look exactly the same around the town centre piece here. And Tesco's doing a roaring trade there, which I think is rather good. It's very helpful. Yes. And with that, I think we shall finish. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.